Today, I'm going to share with you the top 10 ways to make money as a solo player in GTA Online. Coming in at the number 10 spot is the Salvage Yard. There's two ways to make money with the business, with the first being the Salvage Yard robberies. The robberies are mini heists where you have 2 setup missions, 2 to 3 setup tasks, and 1 finale mission where you steal a car and bring it back to the Salvage Yard. Once the car is back at the business, you could then either sell it for max value, salvage it at a discounted rate, or even in some rare cases, buy the car for $10,000 to $20,000, which is always a massive discount. Now, the robberies can take anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour to complete and pay out anywhere between $250,000 to $500,000, including finale bonuses. Unfortunately, the robberies can only be done once per real life week, but they're an easy and fun way to make some good money. The second way to make money with the Salvage Yard is with the tow truck. To do so, you'll first have to purchase one as an upgrade for the business, but once you have it, you could then start doing the tow truck missions. The missions are simple. All you have to do is go out, tow a vehicle, and bring it back to the Salvage Yard. Once the car is at the Salvage Yard, your staff will then salvage the car for you, making you between $30,000 to $60,000 each time. Up to 2 cars can be salvaged at any given time, and salvaging a car takes 48 minutes if you have the additional staff upgrade, and double the time if you don't. That means with the tow truck missions, you could make between $60,000 and $120,000 per hour just by doing 2 simple 5-minute missions. But the money doesn't end there, because for every car you salvage, more money will be deposited into the Salvage Yard wall safe every in-game day. The max you can earn through the wall safe is $24,000 every in-game day if you salvage 4 cars in a row, and it's because of these 3 great money methods that the Salvage Yard is number 10 on the list. Coming in at number 9 is CEO Special Cargo. In order to run Special Cargo, you first need to have a CEO office, and then once you have it, you could purchase a Special Cargo warehouse. Now, the way this business works is you do source missions where you go out, steal crates, bring them back to the warehouse, and then you could sell those crates for a profit. The source missions only take 5 to 7 minutes to do, and if you source 3 crates at a time while also using the assistant at each warehouse to passively source crates for you, you can easily make $200,000 per hour with the business. Although if you do the sell mission in a public lobby with 20 or more people, you can also earn an additional 50% on the sale, increasing your earnings to over $300,000 per hour. Now, although the grind of sourcing crates can become boring over time, passively building up your stock by using the assistants at the warehouses and selling the warehouses when they become full is by far one of the easiest ways to make millions in the game, and it's why Special Cargo is number 9 on the list. In the number 8 spot, we have the newly added bail enforcement bounties, which you could do if you own a bail office. Now, the way these bounties work is you'll have multiple targets that you could capture and bring back to the bail office in order to earn a cash reward. If you capture the bounties alive, you'll receive the full cash reward listed, but if you bring them back dead, you'll receive 25% of the listed reward. The bounty missions usually take between 5 to 10 minutes to complete, and the payouts vary based on the priority of target. The targets in blue pay out between $35,000 to $40,000 each time and are refreshed with a new target 48 minutes after completing the bounty. The targets in red pay out $120,000 or more, but only refresh once every real life day. Once you get the hang of the bounty missions, it's fairly easy to complete 5 to 6 blue bounties every hour, meaning you can make between $185,000 to $220,000 per hour with this money method alone. And since the bounty missions don't take very long, you could easily work in other quick money methods, increasing your earnings per hour. Now, while these bounties are a fun and easy way to make good money in the game, the earnings being capped at a couple $100,000 per hour keeps them from being higher on the list. In the number 7 spot, we have the Hangar. The way the business works is you do source missions where you steal crates, bring them back to the warehouse, and then you could sell those crates for a profit. There are 2 types of source missions, land and air, but land source missions are by far the best since they can be done in 3 to 5 minutes if you have an aerial vehicle like the Raiju, Sparrow, or Oppressor Mark II. The warehouse can hold up to 50 crates, and each crate sells for $30,000 at base. But bonuses can be earned on the sell missions for having a certain amount of each good. And so because of that, in order to make the most amount of money possible, it's best to source narcotics and chemicals back to back to back. That way you avoid the couple minute cooldown each source mission has, while also getting the highest bonus on your sell mission. Once you have 25 crates of each good, you could then do the sell missions individually, which will net you $2 million total if done in invite-only sessions, or $3 million total if done in populated lobbies, which means you can make up to $750,000 per hour as a solo player with the business. Now, while that is a ton of money, the business does require you to own expensive vehicles in order to be as efficient with it as possible, which is why the Hangar is only in the number 7 spot. Next up on the list is the auto shop contracts, which you can access by owning an auto shop. The auto shop contracts are mini heists with 2 setups and 1 finale mission. There are 8 in total, and each take between 20 to 30 minutes to complete solo. Every contract pays out between $150,000 to $170,000 aside from the Union Depository contract, which pays out just under $300,000. Each contract individually has about a 1-hour cooldown, so the same one can't be done back to back to back, but different ones can be done back to back. Roughly 2 to 3 can be done per hour, which means you could be making anywhere between $350,000 to $500,000 per hour with these contracts, which is great money as a solo player. And although these heists are my favorite way to make money in the entire game, their payouts hold them back from being higher on the list. And with that, in the number 5 spot, we have the Nightclub. The business has 2 ways to make money, with the first one being the wall safe. The way this works is depending on how much popularity your nightclub has, a set amount of money will be deposited into the safe every in-game day or 48 minutes. The max you can earn is $50,000 per day, and it slowly goes down from there the less popularity you have. Now, there's a couple different ways to increase your nightclub popularity, but there are 2 that are the best. The first is through switching or hiring new DJs. Every time you hire a new DJ, 100% of the popularity bar will be filled, and for every time you rebook a DJ, 10% of the popularity bar will be filled. Now, the other best way to increase popularity is by tossing out disturbances in your nightclub. They will show up as little blue blips on your minimap, and every time you toss out a troublemaker, you will get money and popularity. So those are the 2 best ways to increase popularity. But if you want to maximize your money with the wall safe, make sure to also buy the staff upgrade for the nightclub, as it will slow down the rate at which you lose popularity. But now that we've got the wall safe out of the way, the other way to make money with the nightclub is through the warehouse. The way this works is you could hire up to 5 technicians and assign them to source products for you, which you could later sell for a profit. The assigned technicians source the products for you in the background, so all you have to do is be in an online session. There are 7 different goods you could assign the technicians to source, but there are 5 that are the best. The only thing is that in order to assign a technician to source a certain type of good, you first have to own and have set up a corresponding business in the game. But with that being said, the 5 best products and the businesses you need to own are cargo and shipments, which you need a CEO special crate warehouse or a hangar for, sporting goods, which you need a bunker for, South American imports, which you need a coke lockup for, pharmaceutical research, which you need a crystal lab for, and finally cash creation, which you need a counterfeit cash factory for. If you have all 5 technicians assigned to those 5 products and have purchased the equipment upgrade for the nightclub, the technicians will source you $50,000 worth of product every single hour. So if you combine the earnings from the wall safe and the warehouse, you can make $100,000 per hour in almost completely passive income with the nightclub. Now, while this low effort money is great, the setup costs for the nightclub are in excess of $10 million, which is why it's only number 5 on the list. But speaking of low effort money, number 4 on the list is the Acid Lab. In order to purchase the Acid Lab, you'll first have to complete the 6 First Dose mission storyline, but once you've done that, you could then purchase it from Mutt at the Freak Shop for $750,000. Now, the way the business works is you either purchase or steal supplies. Over time, the supplies are then turned into product, which you could later sell for a profit. In order to make the most amount of money with the business, you'll also need to complete 10 Fooligan missions so that you can unlock and purchase the equipment upgrade for $250,000. Once you have both, you could then buy supplies, which will cost $60,000 each time. 1.6 batches of supplies, or roughly $96,000, will completely fill up the Acid Lab with product in roughly 4 hours. A full Acid Lab sells for $335,000 in an invite-only session, but once again, if you sell it in a public lobby with 20 or more people, you will get a 50% high demand bonus, taking the sale to over $500,000, which, if you break it down, means you can make up to $100,000 profit per hour with the business. And since the missions you have to do in order to purchase and upgrade the Acid Lab pay out more than the business costs, it makes the Acid Lab essentially free, which is why it's in the number 4 spot. But moving on to the number 3 spot, we have the Cluckin Bell Farm Raid. In order to access the raid, all you have to do is be in a free roam session and wait for a call from Vincent. Once you get the call, you can then head over to the yellow V on the map and start up the raid. The raid is like a standard heist with 5 setups and 1 finale, and in total pays out $500,000, while taking only 45 minutes to an hour to complete. And since you don't have to pay anything or buy a business in order to complete the raid, it's a pure $500,000 profit that both veterans and level 1s can make. Now, it does have a 48-minute cooldown, but that's not a problem considering how good of a money method it is. The raid is probably one of the best ever additions to the game, but it's only in the number 3 spot because the number 1 and 2 spots might be the best ever additions to the game. And with that being said, the number 2 spot on the list goes to the Dr. Dre Contract. Now, in order to do it, you're going to first have to have an agency and have completed 1 security contract. Once you've done both, you could then do the Dr. Dre Contract, aka the VIP contract. Now, the contract is essentially a large heist. You're going to have 3 mini heists and 2 finale missions, and at the end of it, you'll be paid out roughly $1.1 million. It only takes about an hour and a half to do and has a 48-minute cooldown, which makes it very replayable, and is why it's one of the best ways to make money in the entire game. But although the contract pays out almost $700,000 per hour as a solo player, the number one spot on the list beats that out by quite a bit. And with that, the number one spot on the list goes to the Cayo Perico heist. In order to do it, you're going to first have to own a Cayo submarine, but once you have it, you could then get into the heist. The heist has a handful of different setup missions and different ways that you could complete the finale, but in essence, the way the heist works is you're sneaking onto a private island, the island of Cayo Perico. You're taking loot from around the island and from a central compound, and if you could escape successfully, you can make anywhere between $850,000 all the way up to $1.6 million. Now, if you get good enough at the heist and have the Sparrow helicopter, which is stored in the back of the Cayo submarine, you could get the heist done in roughly 40 to 45 minutes, but on average, it takes roughly 1 hour to do. Now, there is a 2.5-hour cooldown if you're doing it as a solo player, but there's no money method in the entire game that could make you up to 1.5, 1.6 million in just 1 hour's time. And that is why it's in the number one spot on the list. Now, if you need help with any of these businesses or heists, I'll leave links to all my guides in the description down below. I hope this video helped. If it did, please drop a like. If you're new, subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Peace.